This is April.
And this is Tiffany. And you are now listening to the Tea of Life podcast. Hey, welcome to this episode of Tea of Life podcast. You're listening to episode number 46. So today we're going to be talking about moms, since Mother's Day is coming up on May 13th. In case you guys missed that, it's May 13th, Mother's Day. So today we're going to be talking about cultivating passions while cultivating a family.
Right.
Now, I don't want to say cultivating passions while cultivating a family, like, you know, in the dirty way.
Well, okay.
Because I guess you can be passionate about that too, right? Passionate during that. This is not that kind of podcast.
Not that kind of podcast.
Wrong podcast.
We can refer you.
So what does motherhood mean to you?
You know, the reason I'm stalling is because I automatically go to those who can't become a mother naturally. So a mother is someone who cares for another, nurtures, and then there's the, feeds or helps with provision for, teaches, trains, equips. That's what a mother is to me. Someone who does those things, whether it be biologically, adoption, or, it's just someone who nurtures and cares and trains and equips.
I like it. That's awesome. Well, sometimes people can feel like being a mom just means getting up really early in the morning, taking care of everyone else during the day while foregoing your own needs, putting everyone first, putting everyone to bed and praying that they sleep all night long. Staying up way too late trying to complete our own chores and then finally dropping into bed at the end of the day. And then getting up really early the next morning after very little sleep and doing it all over again. Yeah. So those are the mothers that we want to talk to today.
Right.
So as you guys know, if you've been listening to our podcast for a while, the premise of our podcast is to encourage you to create and live the life that you want to live. We feel that everyone has the opportunity to be passionate about their life and create the life that they love to live. So sometimes when we are in the stages of motherhood, especially when our kids are very, very small, maybe infants, toddlers, we can feel that we don't have the opportunity to pursue our passions. So we want to encourage moms that no matter what stage of life your children are in, you can still continue to pursue a passionate life.
Yes.
It may look a little differently when your babies are infants than it does when they're toddlers. And then it's going to look differently when your babies are toddlers versus when they are adolescents.
Yeah, there's different fears, there's different worries along the way. So you're always focused on that little person and then that adult person. And then not even when they, I would imagine, even when they leave the house, like I don't have children that have left the house, but I would imagine you still kind of worry. You worry about them being functional adults. You worry about them, then the next logical step for them, whatever that would be. I think it's a constant area of worry. Do you have to,
Yeah, and I think that worry could actually be paralyzing.
Yes.
To where no matter what stage of life that you're in or what stage of life that your child is in, you can be paralyzed for the worry that you have for them no matter how old they are.
Right. And still knowing that you have your own identity as a person.
So when we were preparing for this podcast, we were doing some research on some other moms who seem to be doing it really well or have actually written really good content on how to do it well. And so we wanted to share some of that content that we have read with some of our mothers in order to maybe inspire them to be able to maybe apply some of these to their own life to be able to create the life that they love to live.
Right. I like that.
So one of the things that they were talking about when we were reading it is that we always want our children to see us doing other things. So instead of making them the center of our attention, which we know that when we do that, sometimes they may get older and think that they are the center of everyone's attention. And that causes problems when they actually get out on their own.
I'm laughing because I was thinking of everyone gets a trophy nowadays. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets a trophy. You need to see other people doing things well, even other kids.
So when we make our kids the center of our attention, we kind of contribute to this thing that we actually talked about in one of our episodes called narcissism. And we can look in our society and realize that we have a very narcissistic society. And whether that stemmed from parenting or just whatever happened in their childhood, or if they were just born that way, I don't know. But the point is, I do believe that we have the opportunity to form somebody into that.
Right.
By making them the center of our attention or the center of the household attention.
Right.
And then once they get out into society, they will realize, oh, wait, they're going to have a rude awakening to realize that they're not really the center of attention of everybody else, and they've been taught.
And that's not preparing them well for life.
It's not. So one of the things that they were talking about in some of these articles was we want our children to not feel or think that they are the center of attention in our home.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Our kids need to know they are not the center of our world. Yes, I believe that. So there was an article that I was reading, and it had to do with, so Nicole Kidman at the 69th Emmy Awards speech she was in, I didn't see this, but Big Little Lies. Apparently she's, it's a domestic violence type of a show, or it kind of highlights that or brings truth to that. And so she's talking about how working mothers may miss a few nights of tucking the kids in or some milestones. And she, along with her 2 kids and husband, Keith, have all made sacrifices. And she's asked them to help her on their path. So we've got a whole family interaction we see. So it's like they're all in this together and they all play their part. And she says, I want them to know that sometimes when you're acting, you get a chance to bring a bigger message. And this is their contribution and your contribution. And in this particular show, she says, we shine a light on domestic abuse. So that's where they can say, oh, mommy has a message to deliver. Mommy has something, it's bigger than me. Our roles are bigger than us that we play in our grand scheme of life here. They get to see that we all have a voice and we all play a part and that they are not the center.
So with that, with what you were saying, I want our children to see us doing other things.
Yeah.
So when we start to pursue our passion, whether it be art or fitness or, we've talked about getting and staying organized, that can be a passion.
Yeah.
Anything,
life skill.
Right. Yeah. Anything that we want to do more than anything else. Yeah. My sister, she has 2 new grandbabies, and her passion right now is spending as much time as possible with her grandbabies. That's never going to change. She's always going to want to spend as much time as possible, but that's the season that she's in right now. So it just may look differently as they get older. So whether it's gardening or we've talked about this before too, feeding your family well. I mean, that's a struggle that you and I both have with figuring out what to eat, how to make it, most efficient way kind of thing, because I'm not a gourmet cook.
Yeah.
You're not a gourmet cook. Neither one of us really enjoy doing that. So that is something that, I'm still passionate about feeding my family. Right. Basically because I want to live. Right. And I want them to live. But maybe a passion could be learning how to get meals prepared on time. Right.
These are life skills.
I know. So these passions can be life skills. I thought about maybe reading, just maybe your passion is just getting some time to where you can sit and read a book. Remember Chantel, she reads 60 books a year. That is insane to me. Right. But she is very passionate about that. So writing, we've interviewed people whose passion is writing. And, maybe your passion could be movies. Maybe you just love movies and you want to go see as many movies as possible. But you feel like you can't because you have kids at home or you have little babies and that's okay. So we're going to give you a little bit of ideas on some things that you can do in order to maybe pursue that passion and still be a great mom.
And I think, doesn't it speak volumes to me? Well, Conrad, my husband, has been he's been encouraging me to work on my blog or write or podcast. And he's taken the get, hey, Mom, we're proud of Mom. Look at her. She's going, when we went to Nashville a couple weeks ago, she's going to pursue her passion. She's an entrepreneur. So, and then I hear him saying that. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do it. And the kids are like, yeah, Mom, you can do it. Not like, oh, there's Mom and her crazy whim today. Go on to do this. So I feel validated. And I think, if anyone, we need that as moms, we need that validation. We need that support group, that sisterhood or your spouse or partner or significant other, just that community involvement, that serving others. You get your kids involved. In our school, I just wanted to highlight our school. They have a day, it's called Cornerstone Cares, and all the grades are farmed out to help in different areas. We have our local MUS ministries, assisted living centers, did paint and nails. So it's just getting out in the community. And I was thankful that I was encouraged to do that. Taking care of yourself. It's not selfish. I wrote failing. They need to see us fail at something, anything.
Absolutely.
And then picking ourselves back up and starting over, getting up and doing it again.
So Essence Magazine, there's an author, Natoya Green. She wrote about pursuing your passion while raising a family. And we'll have a link for that in our show notes. In this article, Natoya, who was actually a mother of 3-year-old triplets at the time, she was also a blogger, a columnist, a parenting expert, a television personality. She said that she's not going to lie, that pursuing passion while raising kids is hard. But the good news is that it's possible, and it's also really important for you and for your children. She goes on to say that when she was a child, she saw her mother try to be successful in a business. She tried various things like bus tours and real estate ventures. Sometimes she succeeded in her efforts and other times she didn't, just like you were talking about with failing. She said that watching her efforts made her want to work hard as well. So when she made the decision to pursue her passion as a writer and media personality, she did it for 2 reasons. She did it for partly because of her own ambitions. And then she also did it so that her kids would know that she never stopped trying to be the best her that she could be.
I like that.
Isn't that great?
I like that.
So she gave 7 steps to pursuing passions while raising a family. And her 7 steps were: 1, create a plan.
I love planning.
Yes, you do love planning. How many planners do you have?
I have 1 at the moment because that's the only one I use right now.
Only
That
one?
was last year.
I'm so disappointed.
Sorry.
So then she says to create a schedule.
That's my happy place.
Creating
because
a
you
schedule?
have to plan. And then when you look at your plan, then you can put it in your schedule. But we're not talking about that right now. So create a plan, create a schedule. Get help with the kids. You know what? It's okay to get help with the kids.
It's okay to hire a babysitter.
Okay.
She says find emotional support system.
Find those women who are going to say, good for you. You can do this.
And be diligent, be resilient. So that bounce back ability.
Yes. I like that.
And always keep family first.
So we have passions, right? And we were talking about pursuing our passions. But one of the great things about families is that recognizing the giftings and talents that our children have. And you had in here too, we encourage our kids into their passions, and they need to see us doing ours. We talked about ours, some of the things that we could be our passions, but in setting a good example of, again, these are what I call life skills, but time management, healthy boundaries.
Yeah. So when we're actually doing our passion, they're actually seeing us, when we're scheduling it out, they're actually seeing us have good time management skills, which is also a reflection onto the kids.
School or community involvement is like Ryland takes piano and drama, and they take soccer, the intramural sports, and that's a great thing to discover their skill. Like at first they were like, I don't really want to play this. That's okay. Let's just see if you like it, and then they loved it. So it's like being available to take them to their passions, And I don't mean your kid has to play every single sport and you have to take them to every single sport. I'm not talking about that, but
Right. And I think that society actually puts too much parenting pressure on us to make sure that we do attend every recital or that we do attend every game. Your kid needs to know how to act when they're away from you. So if they're never away from you, they can't learn how to act when they are away from you. Yeah. I had someone once tell me that their 15-year-old had never actually spent the night away from home because they were too afraid to allow her to do this. 15 years old. She had never spent the night away from home. I actually had a conversation with this daughter, and she could not stop talking about how excited she was to go to college.
Why? So hit the books hard, huh?
Yeah. So I'm guessing that when she does go to college, it's not necessarily to study. It's probably to get away from home.
Yeah.
Because she wants to be able to go away and do something on
Be
her
her own person.
Right. So going back to attending every recital or game.
I had to like physically step back and go, okay, it's okay that I don't go to this, you know? I'm going to the games, but I didn't go to the practice. You know, it's kind of like, I don't need to go. So you're learning autonomy. They're learning autonomy, and you're still learning autonomy, I think, as well. When you said setting a good example, we were talking about time management, healthy boundaries, and you said it allows them the opportunity to learn and appreciate their own alone time. And it's showing your kids the importance of pursuing their own passions. So there's an article called Scary Mom. She's from scarymom.com. I am a better mom for pursuing my passion is the title of the article. And she had asked a friend with older children what ingredients were necessary for a happy, healthy, successful kid. And the answer was the example that the parents set, how the parents lived. Her passion is writing. And so she said, by not writing, I was telling my children, it's okay to give up on your dreams. I was telling them that you should walk away if the payout isn't immediate. By not taking time away from them to work on my next book, I was missing out on the opportunity to show my children what hard work and sacrifice and perseverance are all about. By not making myself and my creative needs important, I was setting the example that self-care doesn't matter. This also went for exercising and taking a shower now and then too. And she says, by not taking time to do what I loved, I was saying that passion doesn't count. I really like that. So we had 2 more articles in our research, and one was mother.ly. It's called Low Touch Parenting, the Key to Pursuing Passions Outside of Motherhood.
So article writer Tamar Fox wrote, but what I loved about my mother, what I still love, what still makes me ache for her when I allow myself a few private moments of grief, were the moments of watching her do something that had nothing to do with me. She talked about this thing that she calls low touch parenting. I'm not really excited about the name of what she called it, but right. I like her examples and her theory. She says consistency, and she said that they ate dinner together every night. Now, if you don't eat dinner together every night, pick something else and be consistent about it.
And be consistent.
Number 2, she said benign encouragement. So she said that her parents encouraged her to try new things, and if she decided that she didn't like it, then they stopped. I like that. One of the things that we do incorporate, though, is that if we have committed to something, we will see it through. We can't just quit in the middle. So if we've committed to, say, 6 months of lessons, we're going to finish out the 6 months of lessons, whether they like it or not, because we have committed to that. But I do understand the benign encouragement. Trust and freedom. She did say that they were not prone to getting into big trouble. And her mother saw that and trusted them. And I have told my boys that I trust you until you have proven yourself not to be trustworthy. And as soon as that happens, then you are going to have to work really hard to gain my trust again.
Right. It's not guilty until proven innocent around here. It's you're innocent until proven guilty. Like, you give me a reason to not trust you. I'm going to trust you.
She also said television. That's the dirty word around some
screen time is a dirty word.
Screen time, television. Yes. So she said that they actually were allowed to sit in front of the TV and watch Full House and Saved by the Bell.
That's what I like. She said, your passion can be reading fiction borrowed from the library, pen drawing, baking, or basketball. All it requires is that you carve some time out of family time and use it for yourself. Extra points if doing it in full view of your children like that.
Yeah, I love this article because of the author's take on letting the kids see that while they are important, the mom still has things that she does that are also important. They're not as important as the kids, right? But it is important.
They're important to her.
Right, they are important to her, and they do feed her soul. She also shows them that she has a life outside of motherhood, and that is not evil.
Yeah.
So the last article that we came upon talking about winning at motherhood is from Abundant Mama. It's abundantmama.com.
It happens to also be a podcast.
That's cool. I didn't know that. So Sean Fink is the creator of Abundant Mom, and she wrote an article called A Mother's To-Do List. And in this article, she says that I am still me. I still have dreams. I still need to create and build things for myself. As much as my world is about raising children into adults, it's also about the fact that I have a full life ahead of me as well. So author Sean Fink says that she created Abundant Mom Project in 2012 to help highly sensitive moms get the guidance, support, and practical tools to use in everyday life to become more peaceful, playful, and present women. Because there's more to you than diapers and meal planning, homework, and hectic schedules. You need and want to be present and intentional with your family, and you want time for yourself.
And I said amen to that. Mm-hmm. And she says, you are a woman raising a family while pursuing dreams. And that article made me think of in Titus 2, 3-5. But it's just talking about encouraging one another. As women, encourage the woman behind you in the line or in age, encourage. Encourage them up. Believe in them. Say they can do it. Give them the pat on the back.
April, didn't you write an article last year about moms? Or two moms?
I did. It was like a blessing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like to end our podcast with that today?
Sure. Because I feel like this is for all women. And it's for really all women. And just to bless us and encourage us. So I just said, Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this woman, this gift, a treasure, a child of God. May she feel empowered to be all that you have designed and created her for. Give her encouragement to express who she is. May she grasp how deep, how high, and how wide your love is for her. Thank you that you rejoice over her, you delight and sing over her. May she feel refreshed, renewed, and tenderly loved by you. By you she is chosen, redeemed, valued, cherished. May she delight in the fact that she is a display of your splendor. You are drawn to her, you fight for her, you protect her. May she feel your presence in a new way today. Grant her peace, strength, and wisdom. Bless her and keep her. Shine your face upon her. May she approach you with boldness, freedom, and confidence that she belongs to you. She is more than enough. She is yours. Thank you for this woman, this beautiful, strong warrior, beloved daughter of the King.
If you like Tea of Life podcast and you've got two friends who want to create the life that they love to live, tell them about us. Find us on your favorite social media platform like Facebook or Instagram. Also, right now before you forget, go to Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts and search for Tea of Life podcast. Hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode. Thank you for listening to Tea of Life podcast. We'll see you next Monday.